Hello everyone, welcome back to another video from Exotic Astrology. Today we will discuss about the fifth house astrology. Well, what is the fifth house? It is most importantly, it is the Dharma Trikona. 159, these three are Dharma houses. We have discussed earlier what is Dharma Trikona. Okay, if you have not watched it, please go and watch my video. Dharma basically refers to religion, spirituality, our commitment towards our beliefs, our link with higher source, our link with God, okay, connection to our lineage. Dharma means one which upholds us, okay. Sanskrit word, it comes from the connotation dharan, one who holds you. Dharana means to hold. So it is a trikona which supports the Kendra houses, the first, fourth, seventh, and the 10th house. But specifically, it is a Dharma trikona because it is one of the trinal houses. Okay, it is a very important house because it shows multiple things. There are so many meanings of the fifth house, so many areas are under the fifth house. We will discuss about them. So, firstly, the most important aspect is it is the house of children. Okay, like first house is you, fifth house is children, ninth house is father. So, this is how it happens. From father you come, and from you children comes. Okay, so fifth house represents our children. Whenever the time period of the fifth lord or the planet sitting in the fifth house is going on, people can have childbirth. Okay, or they may want to have children at that time, and it is expected that we carry on our dynasty and we pass on the teachings of our father, our grandfather, our mother, our grandmother to our children. Okay, whatever has been upholding us, the ninth house, we pass it on to the fifth house, okay, of children. That is why it is a dharma trikon, and it also shows the past life deeds. Okay, purva punya bhav. Purva is past, punya is good deeds, bhava is house. So it is the house of your past life good deeds. Okay, it is also the house of love. Now, it is not only the house of love and romance by which it is misconstructed primarily, that it is the house of romance. No, it is not the house of romance. It is the house of love. Any love in this world, a love between a mother and a child, or a daughter and the father, a love between a husband and a wife, a love between a boyfriend and a girlfriend, okay, love of between friends, all love, the source of love, that is seen from the fifth house. Also, fourth house also represents our contentment, but fifth house also primarily because it is second from the fourth house. Fifth house is generally the house of happiness. It is the house of goodness. If a person has many good planets here, okay, if he has benefic planets here like Jupiter, Moon, Venus, Mercury, these people are extremely likable. They're very warm, they're very kind, they're very loving, they're very reciprocative, and they're very accommodating, they're very much adjusting. Okay, they're very adaptable. All the good qualities are in the fifth house. Okay, they're very truthful. Okay, and it is also the house of knowledge. Ancient scriptures are seen from the fifth house. Okay, the Quran, the Gita, the Bible, all these belong to the fifth house. Astrology also belongs to the fifth house. Astrological books, basically, astrology is eighth house and ninth house, but primarily it is the books which give astrological knowledge, that is also seen by fifth house. It is the house of our intelligence. That is why they say intelligence is God gifted. Of course, talent has its role. There is no doubt on that. Sometimes talent is even more powerful than God gifted intelligence. But intelligence is acquired from past lives. Okay, the merits of the past. So some people you see, they have a very strong grasping power. Okay, they have a capacity to retain a lot of information, a lot of knowledge. So, and some people don't. Why? Because of the differences and the influences of the fifth house. Okay. Of course, if there are specifically if there are two planets here, Moon or Venus, the person can be extremely romance oriented because it is like overdose. For example, if Venus is there specially, okay, the person can be too much romantic or he can be too much wanting toward to go towards relationships, okay, and he will be he will have a lot of fantasies in his mind about love, romance, relationships. He will keep thinking, oh, that I will have this person as my lover, or he or she. And they also want to go for love marriages, okay, which is typically the scenario these days. And they are very much inclined towards loving people, okay, not only male female interaction but in general also. But because Venus represents love, romance, so presence of planet like Venus, their love will flow in that direction. I hope you understand what I mean. Okay. Mercury in the fifth, extremely intelligent, because it is also the house of intelligence. That is why whenever the fifth house gets activated with the eighth house, our intelligence is corrupted, because eighth house is the house of death and corruption and misfortune. Okay, so we make wrong decisions when the fifth lord goes into the eighth, or when the eighth lord is in the fifth, or when the fifth lord and the eighth lord are sitting together. Okay, we will see what are lords later. Okay, so, if a person has many good planets, especially Jupiter, Mercury, then the person is extremely intelligent. Okay, Jupiter in the fifth is also considered a very big blessing. Okay, because that shows the person has done lots of spiritual activities in his past life. That is what he is bringing into this life. And from the fifth house, Jupiter will aspect the ninth house of spirituality, the 11th house of gains, and the first house of body, Lagna, whole life. So, Jupiter in the fifth is extremely considered beneficial for the native, especially because it aspects the Lagna. The person is always positive, he's always broad minded, he's always forward seeking, he never looks back, he never goes into depression. Okay, and it aspects the ninth house of religion, spirituality. So, whatever spirituality he had done in his past lives, he brings it to this life because it aspects the Lagna also, and ninth house, so that increases. Okay, and Moon in the fifth, these people are extremely creative, especially Moon Venus. They will love to do things at their own leisure, or by the way they want. Okay, it's not stubbornness, but they like to put a lot of creativity in it. Okay, they like to put a lot of heart and soul in whatever they do. Okay, uh, if planet like Saturn is posited there in the fifth, then uh, these people may not be liked so much by people, because Saturn subdues the house where it sits, so it will not allow the goodness to come out. Okay, generally if a person is very good, you can understand he has many good planets in the fifth house, especially Jupiter, Moon, Mercury, Venus, either of these four, or maybe one or two also he can have. Okay, and if planet like Mars is sitting, the person may have difficult relationships with his children. Okay, and at times they can be too much sexual also, because Mars gives a different flavor to this fifth house. Okay, and a planet like Sun is there, then it shows that there can be delay in happening in the event of childbirth, because sun represents the soul, the atma. Okay, so that means somewhere from some lifetime somebody is waiting to get birth in your family. Okay, through you or through your wife or whatever you call it. Because of this, some ancestral lineage, somebody somewhere is waiting. His time has not come to take birth. So because of that, there can be delays in childbirth. Also, wherever sun sits, that house is extremely bright, so you cannot see that house. Okay, so at times these people can say, "Oh, I want a lover who should be like this, who should be like that." Although they have 10 people standing in front of them, but still they will not choose if sun is in the fifth or in the seventh house. Primarily in the seventh, but at times in the fifth also. Or it can also happen that their children becomes very famous, because wherever sun is, there is name and fame. You get name fame through the children. Okay, and if moon is posited, as I said, they are extremely creative and they are very humane. They want to do a lot of social activities. It is fabulous placement for moon. And if planets like Ketu is there, it is not considered very good here, because it will not let the deeds of the past lives come out. Okay, it will create confusion in the intellect. Okay, because fifth house is also intellect, intelligence. And if Rahu is there, there can be too much obsession towards all these areas. So that is also not considered good in general. Uh, Apart from that, in general, it is also the house of mantra. What you say, no? Chants, or chanting, like the Om Namah Shivaya, or the Gayatri mantra, or the Hare Krishna Maha mantra, or the Panchakshari mantra, or any kind of mantras, chanting mantras, the rosary beads. Okay, uh, like the scriptures, the chants of holy names of God is also seen from the fifth house. That is why whenever sun transits your fifth house in transit, then you can get introduced to some mantras. You may want to do some mantras. Okay, and basically fifth house is a very lively house. Actually, it's creativity, it's love, fun, romance. Okay, fun is also the fifth house, because it is directly opposite of the 11th house of friends. Again, network circle. Whenever you are with network circle, your friends, what do? You have fun, right? So the fun in the 11th house comes because of the fifth house, and it is also a Panafara house, as we remember, 25811. Okay, why is it a Panafara house? Because it shows gains, unexpected gains actually, or you can say share markets. Okay, share markets are seen. Unexpected gains are primarily 8th house, but 5th house also has a component to it. Now, suppose you invest money and it increases. Okay, that means what? That is the same good deeds that you had done. You might have given some donation that to somebody in your past life. That same donation is coming back to you in form of the share market, which has increased. So that is how it is a Panfar house. It gives money. Okay, and it is also the house of teaching, because 159 59 are also houses of teaching. So if somebody has many planets in the fifth house, he can become a teacher also if he wants. I mean, they will have these propensities. Okay, and on a large scale, it is also the house of Bollywood and mass media. Journalism is third house. Serials, TV soaps are third house, and third from the third is the higher octave of the third house, that is Hollywood, Bollywood, movies. Okay, big, big thing. Anything big is the fifth house, and it is also the house of ministry. So, if somebody, as fourth house we had seen earlier, is the house of elections, the fifth house is the house of ministry. Because after winning election, what do? You become a minister. So, if somebody's fifth house is not strong, or if the fifth house is damaged somehow, then he might win an election, but he will just be a a member of the legislative assembly or member of the parliament or whatever you call it in whichever country, okay, member of the elected body, but he will not be able to become a minister if the fifth house is not supporting. Okay, and apart from this, that is most importantly a dharma house, okay, because the scriptures are seen from the fifth house. So that's it from my side. I hope you like this video, and before ending, as I always say, that God is there with you all the time. Look to him and he will be there for you. Okay, so see you next time. Bye bye.